What's up, Joe? Logical conclusion of anime reviews. So this is kind of like, I don't know, when I would comment to Pedantic Romantic's video on eromanga Sensei, but it's also on another argument that I see comes up sometimes, and I find both these arguments to be kind of non sequiturs and not to be relevant to what we should be talking to get like a good discussion about the topic, and for people to learn more and for people to get to the answer, So just to review a bit, like eromanga Sensei was like almost like the anime of the season, a couple years, I guess it was last year, and it's about like an author of light novels, and his sister likes him. I don't know. I've seen the first episode, but I didn't get farther than that. I don't really usually like anime like that. I guess Digibro, he did a series reviewing every episode of it, and he didn't like it, but a lot of other people did. I think Geek had a big video about eromanga Sensei. Anyway, Pedantic Romantic had a video, it seemed like kind of a response to Digibro's video about it. And what he was talking about is, I guess one of Digibro's points was the animation was bad and they didn't care about the animation and it was uninspired and such. And Pedantic Romantic said, well, actually, and he found these animators that worked on eromanga Sensei, and he found that they were well-respected animators within the anime industry, and etc, etc, etc. So the first response to that is obviously, well, that's because they were well-respected animators. That doesn't mean they didn't suck on eromanga Sensei, right? So, I mean, obviously it's more likely that they were good, but name a director. There's not that many directors that haven't had a bad movie, right? There's, maybe Picasso painted a bad painting or whatever. So I mean, it's not like the argument isn't really that much of a mic drop. And even if you considered it, worthy of a mic drop or whatever in the discussion, I think it's not what... I'm not really learning anything from... except for that there are well-known animators on eromanga Sensei. For me, as the audience to this debate, I've only watched one episode of eromanga Sensei, but what I want to know about it is what makes it good. Or that's pretty much what I know, because I don't really watch anime of that type, so I don't know what makes eromanga Sensei better than another anime of that type. So I think I would learn more if Pedantic Romantic wrote about that. What's good about eromanga Sensei? Then make it this completely factual point, but it's kind of it focuses on one thing Digibro said, and it doesn't really... It's not it's kind of... it's almost a non sequitur. I say it's not a non sequitur because it is important to keep things in perspective and not kind of go overboard when, all these animators suck and such. But it is also important to, talk about what this actual discussion is. Here's another argument that is kind of a cousin of this, and I've seen people make this argument to, people who criticize, eromanga Sensei and shows like that. They say, do you realize how hard it is to be an animator? An animator has to do all these drawings. They have to be very consistent with how great their drawings are. They have to produce tons of drawings, They work many hours a week, and they don't get paid a lot. So they just do it for the love of that's what they wanted to do with their lives. And you sit here and say it sucks. Who the fuck are you? And the argument goes something like that. And while everything in that argument is 100% true, does that mean you're not allowed to criticize any show because animators, you know, are highly skilled artists, which I agree they are, and they don't get paid a lot for it, and which obviously they don't. But I don't. It's to me, it's not like someone like Digibro who has watched tons of anime. He has a standard for what he wants from anime, and I think that's perfectly fair. And when that standard for what he wants from anime isn't met, he's in his rights to criticize it as a critic. I mean, it is called critic, you know, movie critic. That's what it. What's Roger Ebert was called, a critic. He's not called, you know, movie praiser. So I think it's completely fair to criticize stuff. And when you like do all this like talk about, you know, do you understand the art that goes into that? It's not the point. You know, maybe they did a bad job, or there's a reason why it's a highly skilled profession, and because we expect a good product, and if they're not going to deliver a good product, someone has the right to comment on that. So I think that point, the arguments, like, oh, some of these arguments that are like, we don't have the right to comment that it's bad because, you know, they're working hard. I mean, I love anime too. They're working hard to make it. These animators are working hard to make anime that I love, and you know that other critics love, and they're not. But I'm sorry, man. If it sucks, or if it's, you know, not up to our standards, then I think a critic is perfectly in his right to criticize it. Alright, so that's been Joe from the Logical Conclusions of Anime Reviews. Please like, comment, and subscribe.